I hate when guys text you, did you take the plan B? No. I forgot.
You, you're average at best.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. Welcome again to another live stream, early stream here in the Chaos Rain channel. As I go by the name Chaos Rains here, as always. And like always, make sure you hit that like button, share this, and I always emphasize this, always subscribe to the channel. Now, how do you do it? Simple. You hit the red button, the top notification bell, not the middle, not the lower. First of all, you don't get enough from the middle. Middle's no good. You don't get notification middle. Hell, you don't get notification on the lower. It's the only thing you get it is the top bell. You know that top bell go ding. That's where the party starts. That's where everything is sent out. Now, y'all, I don't have a set regimen when I go live on the average. I might go live once every 2 days, every day, maybe once a week. Who knows? And doing so, like I said, I don't have like a really set schedule when I go and do these streams. But when I do, I make it count, people. Trust me, I do. So, add a room title. Also, I'm on a Clubhouse as well. And let me make sure I check the side of Clubhouse. And y'all know the thumbnail and the title. And it's funny how social media works nowadays. A lot of information, a lot of things going on here. And okay, looks like I'm live on Clubhouse as well. So, like always, I'm gonna make sure my volume's good. It looks like it's good on this side, so I'll put this right here. Those are the things. Oh, I forgot to mention. Please follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. And you can now add me as a friend on Facebook. Eric Rain on Facebook. And I also have a Discord service, which I'm on right now, and I'm looking at it. I'll make sure the link is still available on the About section. Because sometimes, the link has like a 7-day window, but nonetheless, it is active. And if you have any troubles trying to join the Discord and share your content or have the conversation with me, let me know in the comment sections. I'll read them and try to make corrections on Discord. Let me see if everything else is here. No, I'm not gonna put that there. All right, I'm just checking everything now. All right, that should be it. And let me look at my other side before I begin. Looks like everything is good. Yeah. Okay. All set, ready to go. That's how I like it. All right. Today's subject, title, is this concubine? Now, I know it's a little unusual topic or something that could be triggering or whatever you want to call it. As you know, throughout the social media, I've noticed personally that there are standards that a lot of people follow. There are even go as double standards, unfortunately. And I'm proponent that I am not really fond of double standards per se, but it has its place nonetheless in situations. And personally, we should always ask, is double standards really a good thing today? And I would say it depends on the gender. Has everybody gotten what they want with one standard out the other? Because the standards have to be realistic at the end of the day, in my opinion. It has to be realistic. If it's not, then you have to really reevaluate what your standards are and why you have them so high. 1 second, people. Let me step away to go check some. Hold on. I'm back. Sorry, I had my mic muted. Standards. And I find it very interesting that when we talk about standards again, that when it comes to mate selection and men, women, our standards, in my opinion, are not realistic and really dealing with reality where it has to be just reasonable enough where I say, okay, that you could deal with. And let's be honest, as people, we don't really got like that, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what is such an issue with people having simple standards, not high expectation or high standards. But nonetheless, the standards are put here for a reason. So now, in regards to the standards thing, where is the article? We're going to look at this article personally because I've noticed from social media that when it comes to interracialism, personally, as y'all know, I'm not really a proponent advocate of interracialism in the last century going this century. And there's reason for that because it does not suit you or benefit you personally. I think the people that benefit more out of interracialism, in my opinion, are non-black people personally. Black people don't get no benefit when they interracial date or swirl personally. And reason why, because it is not a form of union, maybe get some benefits, some status. And really truly, when we look at stocks, I'm sorry to say, regardless of what they say data, as black people, our stock doesn't get any better once we're in these relationships. Because I always look at the outcomes. Because you're still black and Negroid in America, and you're still having the hell you are systematically. Besides other things that puts a barrier amongst black people's progression here in the West, or the first world nation of America. As you know, this country was founded and built off racism, and it probably will end and destroyed by the same thing it started out with, unfortunately. And That's how it's going to play out personally. So let's look at these articles so we could go into the issues at hand. And make sure y'all like the stream, share it, And like I said, if y'all want your taking comments, you could leave it here in the chat room, or you could have me put the StreamYard link. You can call in through StreamYard, or I might put the little blog talk call in. Either or, nonetheless, this is open conversation, And like I said, this is my perspective, my views personally. Don't take it personal. So let's begin. Let's look at this article. And always, there's many articles, but this is the one that I came across mostly. Let's look at it now. And as I'm looking through back and forth, and let's see. All right. Good. Which is said here, Chief Travis Kelce and Nicole breaks up after 5 years because he made her pay half the bills and she couldn't cook. Now, it's ironic, interesting that this 30-some-year-old woman cannot cook. Because, and I find it kind of astonishes me now, the modern woman today, and she's a millennial, that I've been hearing lately that some of the women, a good portion of them, can't really know how to boil an egg, much as cook a soup of rice and meat and all that stuff. I've been hearing this flowing around lately, and I always think that usually when a woman can't cook, one thing has been evident: your mother has failed you. Because someone has to teach you that. That's a learned thing. It doesn't come naturally. You just come out the womb and you just know how to cook, like many things. You have to be taught it. You have to learn what food is, how to prepare foods, how to mix foods, how to prepare seasons when you season food. It is something that is an ongoing learning process. And let's be honest, cooking is an art form, if y'all don't believe me. Most of that are very good artists can also be good in the kitchen, depending on what they're trying to prepare. Because it takes creative mindset and experimentation to create wonderful dishes. So as I'm going back and forth, and I'm probably going to look through the chat room a little bit as I'm going through this. And I think this is like a few pages. Let me see. I probably had to adjust my phone a little bit, guys. So, it's going to be doing some things here. All right, I'm looking for the chat room now. Let's look. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's a stream now. Simulcasting on YouTube and other platforms. So this is just, I'm looking at an article. Oh, if people hearing, this is Clubhouse. So yeah, I hear the background, guys. Yeah. So this is the second stream I'm doing. Yes. If I turn volume up, they will. They can hear you now.
Okay, let me make a shout out. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Millie Mel. You can follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/Millie Mel, MILLIIMEL. Make sure you follow me and tell me where you follow me from.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Just sit back. Let me just go through it. All right, Millie. All right, cool. All right, guys. So as I'm going through this, let me adjust my volume. All right, good. We good. Okay. Let me read the chat before I read this. Let's see. Just let you know, Colin on Twitter, it was a lie that he made her pay half the bills. Well, the problem is, if it's such a lie, it should be evident that. Oh, sorry, I got feedback, guys. Let me correct that. That if it's true, why is this coming out now? Now, mind you, ladies, it is not no surprise that a man of any stature will make you pay just to show proof that, you know, you go through the shit test to see if you're worthy, you know? And let's be honest, if the man is saying something, he's getting backlash for it. And I don't take no man's backlash seriously. Because if you weren't so cheap, she would not have came out her mouth. Or anybody, this would have been evident. So I tell people anytime somebody reverts a backlash, it's damage control. Certain information, personally, you should keep to yourself and yourself alone. You should not let the whole world know if you're a cheap bastard. Which there are some Caucasians that are dealing with black women. Yes, it's true. And probably not only our women, but other women as well, depending on the man. So don't be surprised that he gets, you know, the hit up through IG and all other social medias. And let's be honest, when the so-called Brad or Zaddy, what you want to call him, gets his backlash, he will rebuttal depending on how much the backlash is, you know, because let's be honest, he is a public figure and he doesn't want his own personal social media hit up in a negative light. Trust me, people get very notorious through the social media when it comes to real claims or false claims. And it goes back to let y'all know you must be very careful what you put out on your own your own social media. It should be a learning lesson, personally. And the funny thing, when we talk about celebrities, there is a difference between blacks and whites in regards to celebrities, unfortunately. Now, if this was a black man and he did this, you'll be hearing this all the way through all forms of social media that's controlled mostly by women on average. I hear some social media from Lipstick Alley. I don't know what that is. And I can't name some, even Black Twitter. They said Black Twitter is notorious. And trust me, I don't think I'm subscribed to some of these things because I got to look for it. But let's say it does exist, and it does. That's what we have right here. So obviously, if this was the shoes on the other foot, if this a black couple, you would hear this till the end of, for a whole month, possibly. Because there is certain standards when it comes to the black man and the non-black man in relationships, unfortunately. So, but let's read this article. Kind of hold much time. According to the person close to Travis' former fiancée, Kayla, she and NFL star are officially over, and that time is for good. Now, mind you, ladies, if you feel the relationship is not going nowhere, unless there's something that's binding you with this mate, you should probably cut ties, personally. Now, we should always ask the question, how long do you think a relationship should really last if it is considered a relationship? I mean, I'm a proponent that depending on your age, of your 20s, 30s, you should not stretch no greater than 2 years at best. I mean, I would say a year, but you don't know nobody in 1 year. And ladies can vouch for this, and some dudes can vouch for this. And really true, you really don't know nobody until you live with them, personally. So I was one time I was saying a year, but time is your best parameter of where things going. And I think 2 years is fair enough. Nothing should stretch any further than 2 years. If you're going beyond that, that means you in there because you're very much attached. And trust me, you hear people personally get so attached, they'll drag it on for years and maybe a decade if you're not careful, depending on your age. So let's go on. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with Travis cheating. It has everything to do with Travis cheaping. Kylie's girlfriend told Media Takeout that Travis is so cheap that during the entire relationship, which lasted more than 3 years, which they said it go on for 5 years now, but okay. Travis, who is paying on a 4-year, $60 million contract, only gave Kylie $100. Yes, you read that right, $100. Now, my thing funny about all this, but not surprising, that if you are a millionaire, no one say you have to spoil a woman, but at least you got to come out with some pocket. If you're able to drag on a woman particularly he dragged on a sister for more long than a year or two, and all he contributed was $100, and he's making millions. It's always a red flag, people, ladies. I mean, let's be honest. America is hard as is, and we should not be too cheap, but we should always be realistic on how we spend our money. And if you're getting only shit, $100 out of a few years out of the money he spent, you're doing something wrong, chick. That tells me if your standards were so realistic, or if you didn't have none, which I believe she didn't, because she's 30 now. So that means you wasted most of your late 20s with this dude, and all he got, what gave you really, truly, was dick and bubblegum, personally. And I don't like to say that, but that's how I look at it. And mind you, certain dudes give less, and they still get some out of it. But for a man that's a multimillionaire, and he still to get something out of it, it's questionable. It's very questionable. I don't know, but let's keep going. Kylie's friend explained Travis is very cheap. In the beginning, he tries to make Kylie prove that she wasn't with him for the money, so she had to pay half of everything. The tipsters continued half of every date, every trip, everything. Now, mind you, trips are not cheap. Now, dates, dinner dates, depending what you're going out to eat and what you're spending, that's nothing, personally, depending what you're buying. But when you're talking about spending money on trips, now that's something. Now, mind you, for people that's booking flights, usually you have to prepare months in advance, and most likely, depending where you're traveling, you might be spending maybe less than $1,000, maybe more, depending where you're going. I don't know. But when you spend money on trips, it makes me wonder, where is your head at, girl? Where is your head at? All right. The two split up last year amidst cheating rumors, and Travis promised that if Kylie took him back, he'd be different. But the friend explains Travis is still cheap. Maybe he's not cheating anymore, but he's not breaking bread like he needs to be. Sorry, ladies. Man that got money like that, and he is white, he has options. And much as y'all don't want to hear that, he does have a lot of options. Person. So when we talk, and let's be honest. I remember Six the Guys said it best, that one of few people that she said she stay away from are entertainers, athletes, and musicians. And we could probably say comedians in the same boat, depending on what type of comedian is. And the reason why she said this is because not only these dudes, well, really, the bottom line is these guys got options. And women are willing to flock and hope to get inseminated to, have a little side baby, pay some little side child support, get some out of the deal. I remember Drake almost got trapped again. And you know what he did? If y'all remember the tobacco sauce incident, which I haven't heard much talk about that. I don't know if anybody followed up on that, but that happened months ago. And last month, this lady was going to sue Drake for over mostly $1 million or a quarter or more $1 million. I don't know if anybody could follow through on that one. Please hit my comment section if you get for this video. I want to know the follow up of that. But let's keep going. Where am I? According to I said he asked whether there was hope that Travis and Kylie, who make such a great looking couple of every reconciling, Kylie Fried told media takeout, if he stops being cheap and giving Kylie what she deserves, maybe. And the answer is he won't. And the reason why, because you accept the cheapness. is what you walk in is what you get, ladies. Unfortunately, we all know this already. And I'll be honest, if he was really straight serious telling her all you get was dick and bubblegum, I think somebody put that bullshit out there. I don't think that's true. But let's say if that was true. If that was true. And you stayed. Shame on you, Mr. Cole. Kayla and Nicole. If a man is so blunt honest to tell you in your face that I ain't got nothing for you, baby, but dick and bubblegum, you set yourself up for failure. So let's keep going. They dated for 5 years, and throughout these years, Kylie got only $100 from blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we said that. Okay. And it says here, he gave Kylie $3.7 each month. Kylie had complained before about not getting expensive gifts. Now, I'm hoping this lady did not buy this dude gifts if they're in this so-called relationship. But then again, like I said, there are different priorities and different standards they give towards the black mates to the non-black mates, unfortunately. And really, as I'm going through this, I'll be honest with you, there's a certain energy when it comes to non-black mates and black mates in relationships, unfortunately. And really, I don't like it like that, but it is what it is. Let's see. Kylie Nicole caused the internet to go nuts when she went on IG Live. Now, she went on IG Live, which I did not know about that. So, not only she put the man's business, but she put herself on front street, letting people know that all I got was $100 out of the 5 years out of this thing. That's so embarrassing. That's sad. That's really sad. Whew. All right. She claims she was forced to buy her clothes at Zara's because she had bills to pay. People thought it was odd because her boyfriend is Travis Kelce, who isn't hurting for money. And one thing before I continue, it lets you know, ladies, that some of these dudes now, if they're not really take you a long term where eventually a marriage is going to come to it, you're lucky to even get wherever the man's going to give it to you. I think the security is more better than just getting this little flimsy money that you're in a long-term relationship, short-term or long-term. You want something really secure at the end of it, especially if you put it in more than 2 years. Now, you always hear Mr. Sanders talking about this 6 months thing. I don't really agree with 6 months, and I never did agree with it because you don't really know someone. You have not tested each other out 6 months. Anytime a man, depending on his age, if he's older, looking for 6 months, he's looking for something just be around and just lock in. Period. And trust me, you hear these dudes complain about the divorce constantly. They don't want to get divorced. They don't want to lose half their shit, all this dumb shit, right? No one's saying that, if you only put in a few months just to put a ring on it and don't know all the other intrinsics, that's you, playboy. There should be always testing of where the relationship is, what the person's tolerance, and you should observe it and learn it. So that we know what you see is what you're really going to get. But it goes back again, nonverbal communication is the factor why we get ourselves in certain situations. Now, would it have been better if a lot of dudes were upfront what they're looking for and keep it real? It would benefit. But let's be honest. When it comes to us, men and women, we don't want to be transparent on what we really look for in our intentions. We think lying is easier, and hopefully in time, a person will figure out what our intentions are. And I'm telling you, that is closed-minded. Closed mouths never get fed, and people are not psychics. All right. Let's go down. And this Cam Newton thing, I'm not reading that. Nicole was being cooked on pun intended for calling Cam Newton a bozo for saying women need to learn how to cook and stop trying so hard to be IG models. Well, IG is the place to be, Mr. Newton. Where do you think you're going to find your next so-called baby mama? Your next thought? They're shaking their ass on IG. Hell, some women are even go as far as selling coochie on IG. That's where it's at in the DMs, people. Let's keep going. She ripped him for appearing to define a woman's worth by her ability in the kitchen and her willingness to allow a man to lead. And we call it Eva's creating him in a video on her Instagram page. This man said that you need to be able to cook and know when to be quiet. Nicole said because that's what his mama did. Like, boy, go date your mama then. The chef star GF explains her beef with Cam further in a series of tweets on her Twitter account, calling Cam a straight-up bozo for his comment. Okay. Pretty sure the average woman is capable of making edible food, Kayla said. How do you think she survived thus far? It's really not a matter of can she cook. It's more like does she wants to cook for your hungry hippo ass. Now, usually with a lot of ladies with IGs, you can tell what a woman could do is what she posts. And a lot of dudes are seeing this, ladies. They want to see what type of IG you are when you have an IG account. Are you just posting pictures of your ass, your chest? Or are you posting pictures of how you move in your life? Blogs, conversations, walk around, maybe exercise, cooking. Most dudes, on the average, they look and see what type of person you are on your IG page. And if all they see is just you showing your body on more than, let's say, 70 or 80% of pictures, then obviously they'll conclude that this is a thought. Or what they call now this new term, through a force. And not saying that most dudes are looking for wives, but they're going to draw the perception by what you put out for your social media. That's how it works. All right, let's go. Kylie, who's been dating Khalees since 2017, then poked fun at Cam for currently being without an NFL team, saying he has nothing but time to be quiet and get that ass in the kitchen. They have deleted most of their photos together on Instagram. Khalees deleted from them all. Nicole has been spotted on yachts twerking with some other men and then having attended NBA player games separately over the last couple of weeks. There's more. Let me go to the next one. Let me see if it's shifting. I'm looking at both ends. Gotta make sure it's showing. Hold on, guys. Okay. All right, it's shifting. So it's much slower. The obsession of women being able to. Oh, let me go now. That's her Twitter. Let's go down. Yeah, that's her Twitter. Okay. I'm not sure when's the date when she did this. She did this last month. Okay. Next page. Next page. And that's all these are. This is her. So look like the rest of the page is pure pictures, which I'm not really interested in personally. At least she keep her body good, but overall, she got a lot of work ahead of her. Someone that young should not be. Well, she's not young now. She's like in her 30s now. Should not be wasting time. Personally, in my opinion, she should not be wasting time. But what I know. All right. Now, she's not really too much average. She's slightly closely above average a little bit, but she needs a lot of doing the work, soul work, reflections. Because personally, yeah, that was a waste of time. Regardless what the outcome is, what people saying about it, and personally, when I hear about these other sites and they're like watering down and actually saying what Travis did is not too bad, it's questionable. If it was any other man, personally, ladies, he would have got dragged from here to yonder, especially with a brother. And there are some brothers that possibly might have done this too. And I said possibly. Hell, we got one dude had Keisha Cole tattoo his name on her, Antonio Brown. And it tells you, and mind you, Keisha Cole's about to be 41. So to find a woman that's just now 30 something, stretching along as she has done, I mean, she's not the exception of the rule. She's not the first or last that's done this. My only concern is that there should be a better even exchange of energy when things like this happen. I know most of us as committee, we are self-hating, self-destructing, and we really want to really point fingers and say that, you're wrong, I'm wrong, I get it, but it's not really bettering us. Especially when most of us, we consume things that only focus on how to get and and bust the quickest nut. That's how I see it. Let me look at the chat room. Oh, before I look at the chat, let me see what the likes are. Okay, 7 likes, good. Let's look what comment. Oh, got a lot of comment by DA. Let me go for each one. Let's see. Okay. Let's check. Oh, I forgot one thing. My apologies. There we go. All right, let's go to the comments. And I probably will drop the link. I doubt anybody's going to come up, but we'll put it in anyway. See where people's heads at. Okay, let's go down to the few comments. It's easy to learn to cook. Just watch YouTube videos and cooking. Yes, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube how to cook. So no excuse there. I agree. Last year, people said he was cheating and he didn't respond and then went to delete his tweet. I think he doesn't entertain rumors. Yeah, well, if it's a Caucasian man, a lot of people think that these men don't cheat. They cheat just as much like every other man, unfortunately. People are speaking about this as a widespread and a response on viral tweets. I think it's a lie. It's just ridiculous. And on his Instagram, he was always taking her out, etc. Yeah, I mean, and that's why the interesting about this cheap dates, which I think they do go Dutch, which I do believe, because let's be honest, ladies, y'all open your mouth more than anything else. If everything was going good like they said is, there should be, in my opinion, you should not be making no type of reaction or response of your relationships. If everything is going so good as it gets, or everything is going perfect, or I should say good, because there's no such thing as perfection. Let's keep going down. Make sure I'm going for everything. People are speaking about this. Okay, I read that already. Next, I agree. 2 years should be enough. Yep, agree to. You really think he's contributing 100%? That's why I believe in her when she said that was. Well, like I said, if it was all a fake rumor, it's shame on her personally. But like I said, anytime when people post things like that, people take things as gospel verbatim. See, the problem with rumors today in the 21st century is you only know when there's a rumor when something happens. And there's really things that's laid out, certain serious evidence. And right here, this is just a simple response. Hell, if you remember, ladies, Meg Thee Stallion went on her IG page and said that Tory shot her. And now what has come out now for the past month through the evidence that they're keeping quiet right now is that she did not get shot, but she had glass shards in her foot and some other things that's going around, even to the point where it said that the gun residue was not Tory's. So, like I said, if these were fake rumors, you keep your mouth shut. You don't let nobody know about your personal business. You don't let nobody know what's going on in your relationship. And that's some things our people should do better. If your relationship is going good, you let people say it's going good, it could be better. This is how you say it to most people that ask how your relationship is going. You should not be telling and spilling the tea about your business, about what your man's not doing right on stuff. Just like a man, you don't see a man on the average go to and say, what my woman not doing right and all stuff. We must keep that to ourselves on the average. When you start opening your mouth and start spilling out your business, that's when people are going to look at you side-eye, and they're going to take every word that comes out your mouth seriously. And that will create bigger buzz where everybody else is going to start telling your business. And ladies, I'm telling you personally, you got enough female friends that like to open their mouths and tell your business. You need to watch out for that. All right, let's keep going. What else? Yeah, Drake is funny. Yes. And the funny thing, I remember when Mr. Sam was talking about the 6-month thing. I was never a proponent or fond of that shit, personally, because I'm looking at, you don't have enough time knowing somebody in 6 months. It's impossible. Very much impossible. Let's see what else. I'm just flipping back and forth, guys. All right. Unless they are religious. And there's too many religious people out here. Majority of people in the world, more than 80% are Christians. And not even half of us follow that religion. Hell, we don't even follow the practices of Christianity. Hell, we don't even read the damn Bible. So when people talk about, say, they'll follow religious stance of marriage, I'm laughing. Tell me any black person that really is strict Bible bound on everything. I wait. I know there's some people that follow Muslim faith, probably more stricter than a Christian. I'm not sure why that is, but I think Muslims probably hold more things accountable on the average. If you follow Christianity, you don't hold nothing accountable. You're going to put the blame on someone else or on the devil or some other entity, personally. Let's keep going. I think people should marry after 2 years and early if their religion can't fit in. And the other comment I read here is that it goes back to show that the man is getting some form of backlash, personally. And like always, like a good old girlfriend, you need to shut the F up. And it goes back to show, anytime somebody has to war back and resent certain things, people pay attention to that. Pay attention big on that. Everything was going so good as they said, you would not make no IG live or put that out there. You put that out there not to get attention, but to put this so-called boyfriend of yours or once boyfriend on Front Street. And really be honest, Travis should not be concerned because, like, the whole purpose of the title is this concubine. Because I know this man has his well share of ladies and looked at Kylie as some fetish, personally. And the reason I'm saying is because it don't take you more than 2 years to make a decision if you're going to marry her or not. And mind you, I'm not a proponent of interracialism, but if you're going to be swirling, you better get some out of it where you're going to get the ring, at least. And a man can sit there and get everything, your cookies, your youth, all that, without little effort. Shame on you, ladies. Shame on you. You know how most non-black men, they will move on to the next one. Why do you think certain laws are put in the books back in the early 30s in regards to child support? Because it's a known evidence that most European men up into the 1930s got married, had their kids, got tired, walked off, and started a new life with a younger woman. This has been going on for centuries. So other groups of men had to sit back, form a strategy, form a bill, and put out in Front Street to really cut back on the men of their group creating bastardization / bastard children from other households. That's for food for thought. So when you hear one black man doing this shit, you know where it comes from. Let's keep going. Let's keep. Salute Alonzo. If you're in the chat room, you could join link. Salute Alonzo Hall if you're there. Yeah, and you know, I don't like that personally. And here's why she should not got dragged. Let me stop sharing this. Because she put in enough into this relationship. And she, in her mind, think it was going somewhere. But to come to find out, this man wasted her time. And I guarantee you, because Travis is in his early 30s, I give him another 2 or 3 years, he's going to marry most likely a white woman. Or one of his own women. Because when it comes to non-black men, they looked at black women as much as, I don't want to say this, but I got to keep real with you, as concubines. Side booty as best. Now, there are some Europeans that will marry sisters, depending on the economic situation, possibly. But overall, they're not in the business really looking to marry black people in general. Regardless how the numbers stay where they're at right now. They're not in the business doing that. Wait, let me see what's going on here. Okay, that's nothing. They're not in the business of doing that. So to find that, you know, she was being dragged throughout the internet, and that might make sense why she had to recant her statements, because let's be honest, who was really dragging her on the internet? Can anybody tell me? Was it men or women? I would guess is more than 75% women and probably 30 or 25% of the men. This is just my guess, personally. That who's doing the dragging. And let's be honest. They drag her because she put her so-called loved one on Front Street. Because they had to keep the illusion that the European man is almighty and he is God in the eyes of everybody, including black people. So for a man to sit there and put that crap, for her to put that crap out there, right, as true or not, is diminishing and destroying his character as a man. And obviously, no one's going to really be cool with that. So it makes sense that she has to go back and recant her statements. And I think she should, because it should be a lesson learned for any woman. If you're dealing with any man, especially a non-black man, Asian, Arab, white, etc., you make sure your standards should be much higher, very high, because they got, like I said, the status in this country, and maybe they got some of the money. Not all, but they got money. So you should not be shortchanging yourself if you're going to be dealing with them. Personally, I should not be here on any scenario if you're in this interracial relationship, ladies, and this dude that is non-black, white, or whatever, and you deal with 50-50 personally, in my opinion. I think I'll go in further. You want to know how to weed out the ones that have fetish with you, especially non-black men, Asians, Arabs, white, etc. Let them know, say you're gonna pay for 100% of everything. And not only that, you're gonna pay more in that 100%. You're not gonna let up on it. You make sure you let him know clear. And anytime he starts to slip up out of that 100%, you get your black ass up and you walk left door. This will eliminate the so-called non-blacks that think that they're going to use you as side booty as best and as concubines. You're sending a message, a serious message that said, if you want this black thing, this nice wop, not only are you going to pay, but you're going to pay double that because you have it. You will not go cheap, lowball all this nonsense to non-black mates, white, Hispanic, wherever you want to call it, those type of men, because in their they think they could show up with their skin and say, I'm just going to show up and you're going to give me everything. I'll do much. Oh, no. You're going to learn from Kayla, Nicole, saying, I am not and never, ever going to fall in that predicament like you did to this woman here. Once you do that, that will eliminate the so-called non-black men to thinking that they're going to get access for free. They're going to probably pull up that everything, their resource, everything, and give to you. Anything less than that, you get your black ass up and walk off the table. People gotta be transparent at the end of the day, and I think black women, y'all need to start doing that. If you're gonna have the so-called double standards, it should be even higher against other non-black mates. Because let's be honest, ladies, you said that these non-black mates got it, so put them through the test. I guarantee they'll fold. They'll fold big. And I think once they do, if they do oblige and they will give you everything, you let them know firsthand if they find out that they go around and cheat outside this relationship. Let's just say the courts are with you, ladies, and the courts will protect you through rain, storm. I gotta be evil here. They ain't gonna like this stream. They ain't gonna like this at all. No. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm just going down the list. Let's see. Yeah, you're the only one right now, unfortunately. And mind you, a lot of people watching. Personally, I'm not sure who's watching. They're just watching to see what I'm about to say on this. DA. I don't mind because this is a very hot topic. People are going to be observant and see what they can get out of this, what my response is. I know they heard other content creators now I'm making jokes, laughing about it. Some people say that they create a new rule over this and going by, why swirling goes wrong. Me, I take a different approach. I'm just keeping it honest. I'm just keeping it real honest. I don't like it. I tell you I don't like it. And I'm telling you, if you're going to entertain any of this, if you decide you're going to be dating out, your standards should be realistic and really true. It should be higher with non-black mates than black mates personally. And the reason why, because these other groups of men think that they could get full access and they'll do nothing. And Travis is one example. He is one of many men of examples. He's not the only one, ladies. He is not the only one. And there are a lot of men that I see through social media, some videos from certain black women, how a lot of them that are actually dirt broke and actually are big can still get access to a sister. I remember one video of a fat Caucasoid saying, "Why do you want me? I'm fat, I'm unattractive, I got no money." And she just looked at him with a dead stare, say, "But I like your hair because you're conditioned." That's conditioned, sweetie. You must break out of that condition, that so-called worshiping condition. The white Jesus complex, I call it. Where the European man is God. You see the pictures always in your church, in your home. Thank God if y'all don't have a picture of an actual European in the back of your house or in your door or your room or something. But yeah, I'm ranting right now, so bear with me. All right, let's see. All right. I don't care for slaves, but I feel sorry for them when it comes to rumors. Yeah, people can't say anything whether it's true or not. I'd rather have money than fame. Yeah, always gonna have money than fame. I agree. Slaves should be quiet. They only flew gossip sites. Yeah, and think about it. This is how these sites make money. DA. Yeah, they take it really serious, and they make money through what you post on your own social media. Have y'all noticed most of the gossip sites now, the only reason why they exist because everybody got social media. Have y'all aware of that? Y'all know that? This is the reason why they exist because there is, unfortunately, people are posting things on their own social media. So they get their straight news directly from you, ladies and gentlemen. So you have yourself to blame for the amount of propaganda you put on yourself, and other media outlets take full advantage of what you post. Remember, silence is the key. You move in silence. You don't tell everybody what you think or what you're doing on the average. If you do that, you give yourself away. You're like an open book. You make it too easy for people to find you, know what you're thinking, what you do. You do it too much every day because social media is like a drug. You don't know how to find the right remedies to heal yourself from this poison that's in you, this addiction. All right. And salute to Alonzo Hall. Oh, I see Alonzo too. And, I'm bringing up in a second, Alonzo. All right. Yeah, that's sad. And both black man, black woman drag her. I don't know why they did that. Yeah, I agree. Black people should hire their standards for non-black people. Yes, and that's my thing. Women should avoid 50 because it's not 50 when it comes to child rearing and household. Okay. Now, I bring in my first guest, Alonzo Hall. What's good, Alonzo?
What's going on, Chaos?
What's good? What's
How are
good?
you?
I'm good. I'm not sure if you're enjoying the stream so far, but I'm just trying to deliver this from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
what has happened. And if you want to share something, go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, I think I can speak from a dynamic perspective myself. Seeing as my mother divested, right? So
Yes.
as a child, I grew up seeing certain different things. And it's funny, especially even when it comes to like black men ourselves and just little shit that we do. Prime example, Mother's Day came. I took her, my mother. I took my mother, my wife, my grandmother out, and my mother-in-law out for dinner. Obviously paid for everything and everything like that. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what guys do. Like, we kind of like to do that type of stuff. And she was like, well, none of the men I'm dating that are black do that, but that's because you was raised by these white men I was dating. And I was like, well, not really. I was raised by you and I saw the men come in and out. But yes, I did see that influence. Unfortunately, it's something that's not taught, but there is, like you said, that God complex because there's in the apartment complex I live in now, which is a luxury apartment complex. It was so even more so in the 90s when my mother lived there and she was making about 100,000 in 95. So that's good money. But there was a gentleman there who was a professor at Yale, black guy, who had the biggest crush on her. I see him now that I still live he still lives in the complex. And, my mother is like, oh, man, he was a nice guy back then, but she preferred to date the white dude. The white dude makes today about what the black dude made then. But she felt that the black dude was corny, even though the white dude made less money and there's generally the equation of black dudes making less money. or being unable to provide.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Right.
I see. Yeah. And if you think about Alonso, it's always, who we dating, you know what I'm saying, and knowing what we're dealing with. And let's be honest, we gotta know what our priorities and why we're dating and what expectation we want and we're looking for. And the problem with us as people, we're very much antisocial. We're not transparent of what we're looking for when we meet the opposite sex, especially if we're dealing with meeting up, dating, whatever. That it should be upfront as best as possible. I know that's weird foreign to a lot of us, but it should, because we do waste a lot of time. You get me? A clear example for this woman that's now in her 30s that, it seemed to me that this is something that you want something more than what you're getting, but you're not being really transparent, and not only not really transparent. If you was, you stayed. You get me? And this should be a learning lesson.
Right.
It should be a teaching lesson.
This
You
is
should stay.
Travis Kelce's wife, right?
Yeah, Travis. Yeah, and especially a man that is a millionaire or a man that's doing wherever. If you're paying everything, including trips, right? The man got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That tells me he's not testing you. He's giving what some Zeus normally don't say. They give you dick and bubblegum, and that's all they give you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, there's nothing benefit if a man just only coming in with just dick and bubblegum, especially
Right.
if you're in your late 20s. As you get older, you want something that you want some long term, and maybe go as far as maybe marriage or some form of stability down the line. When you're young, like under 20 or just slightly pushing 25, that you could probably have your fun and all that stuff. That's cool. But as you buckle down, you gotta center yourself. I mean, that's why I don't lose too much sleep or feel sorry for people that's getting older and they still find themselves in certain so-called relationships in a constant hamster wheel. You get me?
Uh-huh.
Because where is it letting? Where's the end goal of all this? You get me? Like I said with DA, I don't propose 6 months. I say 2 years at most is just the minimum. And that's as far as you could stretch, especially if y'all really stepping up and maybe living with each other. That obviously, yeah, now it's another phase, which now this is going to probably determine phase if you're going to take this officially serious. And I know I'm not proposing that push certain people, but like I said, it would be nice if you're going to be in a relationship with a man for a long term, ladies, and you want to be married. It should be you should be very transparent off that bat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Personally, you know what I mean? Because a man will waste time. Trust me, a man, as much as later, he does have time. You don't. You know what I'm saying? That time you spent with that one person could have spent on a dude that probably would want to take you real seriously. You know? Even the backlash from I'm here from D8 saying that if she's getting backlash from the two sisters and the men, and usually the men when they get backlash, they say, "Oh, you witch! This is why I swear to work." That's what backlash you get. But with the sisters, they gonna attack you, say, "Why would you put your business out there like this? Why you would say this and that?" You get me? But it was a black man.
So this is gonna be a controversial statement that I'm about to make, but this is something that I wanted to address towards the men. When we talk about 304s or hoes and this, that, and the third, and we got to realize that men are superly emotional creatures, because the only issue and the only reason men have an issue with a 304 is because she's able to separate the emotions from the act of sex. Right? She might do it for money. She might just do it because she's promiscuous, but she ends up having no feelings for the man. And that's where we have an issue with the 304. It really has nothing to do with, body count, a master lock and a shitty key and all that. It realistically, it's just the emotion. But besides that, we're creating that because often that's what we chase, right? Now, when we get people like you said, I think black women got to realize that to other men, they are exotic. Just like to black men,
Yeah.
other women are exotic, right? If I go get a white girl,
Yes.
guess what? That's exotic to me, right? Because I'm used to black girls. So it's the same difference. So black women have to realize that to the white man, to the Asian man, to the Arab man, shit, to the Latino man, you're exotic. So you also have to realize that most people in general practice race loyalty. Not
Yes.
anything other than for the simple fact that it's easy to relate to somebody who looks like you, and it's likely that you guys share similar, many cultural similarities, right? So if I
Yeah.
grew up in Australia and I meet somebody who's Australian and we're in America, guess what commonality we might have? We might both be like, hey, you remember eating Vegemite? Well, all Americans think Vegemite tastes like some salty, nasty crap. But Australians grew up eating Vegemite. So that cultural difference is what has people practice their race loyalty, if you will. Where, okay, if I'm dating within my race because of a cultural similarity. But so anything else outside of that, yeah, you're looked at as exotic, whether it's man or woman. So I know they say
Hmm.
love who you love, but you got to look at the reality of it. It's something that's foreign to what you're used to, or something that's foreign to what you are, right? Now,
I agree.
when we look at the situation of like Travis Kelce's wife, there's a benefit there
I mean, his girlfriend.
because,
Girlfriend. Yeah.
yeah, his girlfriend, because, she, and this is what I mentioned actually when I did my divestment debate, man. There's a benefit to even the fat, unattractive white dude for the black woman. There's upward
Yes.
mobility for
Yeah.
her in dating that even the bottom shelf Brad, who's a fat, ugly, broke white dude. Guess what? There's still access available because of that. Hey, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Let me I'll hop off and come back.
All right. All right. Come on. We'll be here for a few more minutes. Yes. And let me go for the chat room. Let's check. Oh, yeah, there's some out here, DA. Hold on. Yeah, that's why I believe women should even more careful as they don't have time on their side like that. Yes, and they should be very careful. I think black women should even more careful with men outside their race. I prefer if they stay within their race. Yeah, I mean, the interesting about this is that depending on your generation, if you're Gen Z, it's gonna be hard to find most of our boys and now still sticking with the race, and that's just Gen Z. But I think new babies that's coming up, I call them millennial wise. It's hard for me to see that they can stick around and perk with other black people personally, but it's hard for me to see it. Well, let me bring Alonzo up here because I got to soon wrap this up. Go, Alonzo.
Yeah. So, like
Go
with
ahead.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend, like I was saying, for a black woman to date a white man, there's a social access and a social acceptability there. So there's upward
Mm-hmm.
mobility. Unfortunately, as black men, we haven't offered or provided that. And it's an embarrassment, you know what I'm saying, to be among the ranks as a collective, right? When I did the debate and I looked at the apex of black men's net worth, it was at 148,000. We have to realize that that includes all the basketball players and the Jay-Z's who are fucking billionaires. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
yes, for white people, the median net worth was 186. So the apex of a black man is 40,000 and basically a high school dropout, and we're sitting here calling ourselves kings and head niggas in charge. Son, what the fuck? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so I can understand where dating a white guy for a black woman would seem like a come up, even if it is a bottom shelf Brad, because societally her odds are a little bit better. Now, when we look at the facts and figures, that's untrue because
Okay.
there's 200 million whites and 42 million blacks. So there's 22 million black men who are actually striving in this country versus at least 100 million white men,
Yeah.
right? So the numbers are skewed, right? We're 20% of their population. So it is difficult to say, but societally it looks like a come up, at least in this country, because they are the majority. But globally, we can still dominate. But in terms of America, yeah, it's just like my mother. She thought it was a come up for the white dude who's making 75 grand today, but the black dude was making 75 grand in 1995. But she thought he was corny.
Well, it goes back to conditioning, Alonso, because I know you're A's baby like me. If you remember when the propaganda was certain TV shows, some of the good ones like the what they call Family Matters, like the Urkel and all that stuff, the so-called names. I get it because it's conditioning to say that these men are not quote unquote masculine, they are quote unquote weird. And I understand the psychology of it, but then again, you turn around and you date a dude that's something weird, but don't look at it because you look at this ethnic group of men as something as positive, as superior, regardless of his lameness or not. So it lets you know, say there are productive black men out here, but like I said, you gotta fish for them. You might have to compete for them. And the only thing my issue with the pool of men now that we could do better, we have to work better with each other, and we have to break out of this mental illness that find ourselves at odds with each other. You get me? Yeah. Other groups of men don't have these problems. We have because we have not broken that epigenetic mental illness which was inflicted on us for the centuries. We have to be aware of it. We have to make the corrections and say, we're going to do this for the greater group of the future black men coming before us. See, people forgot, sacrifice is not going to stop here. You have to keep going and going until you get to an actual place.
Right.
The people that came before us, that took the ass whipping, the biting, even to the point as incarcerated death, they did this so that we get to a certain position now. But the work still has to keep going until we're actually to the actual what we call promised land. Once you stop, you are considered dead. That's what you see now for the last almost half a century. Let people stop doing what they're doing and get fighting what is right, what is theirs. And what's happened? You're getting stagnation, slow death, and amalgamation. Right. That's what it breeds. So that's all I'm gonna say. Any closing remarks, Alonso? I will close this here.
Yeah, man. Like I said, collectively, we are trying to do some things. Overall, we can correct ourselves in certain positions. We'll be good there. We got to realize if we're looking for a come up, the real only way we're going to come up is on our own. And we have to practice subgroup economics similar to other cultures. That's why there is a little Italy. That's why there is a little Haiti. That's why there is a Chinatown. That's why there's a little Greece. That's why, there's all these other things. Now, collectively, they can, separate, come together and meld with other people. But initially, they collectively do their own thing, get their shit right, and then they go sail elsewhere. So let's correct this plane, fellas. Let's do what we got to do. And, we'll be there from that. And with that being said, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute. I'm gone.
Salute. And always follow hard on YouTube as well. And I thank everybody for listening to today's stream. As you know, I delivered to the best possibility to this. I gave my take on this. One thing, if you didn't take on the stream, know this. If you're going to entertain this interracialism, the swirling all up from either black man, black woman, especially the sisters, like I said before, your standards should be just as higher dealing with non-black mates personally. If you're going to be entertaining the interracialism, I see too many times that their standards are very low when it comes to non-black mates because they hope they snag one up and have one as a trophy, like you got one. No, you're going to have to think bigger, baby. Regardless how you view Kylie Nicole, whether it's rumor or not, she is one testament of an example of what no woman should be doing, especially if you deal with a multi-millionaire. If I see something like this again, I'm going to do another stream on this. If I find another sister and the same scenario goes on this. And I might make a series of this if you're not careful. Yes. And well said. Black people, we got, if we're being honest. And that's all it's going to leave it. So, like I said, this is the message. And this is my statements. If you're new to Chaos Rain, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the top notification for uploads here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. And you can now add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And join my Discord service. The Discord is in the About section on my page. If you're having trouble, please leave a comment. I'll be looking forward to reading it. So that is pretty much it. And like always, people, you know where to find me. The Chaos Rain.